Hello, baby.
Hello, nasty. Hello there.
Hello.
I say hello.
Hello, friend.
Well, hello, little girl.
Hello, my treacherous friends.
Hello, operator.
The beginning of everything. Welcome back, my friends. It's showtime.
Hey everybody, it's the Brink of Sanity, episode 196. Almost at the big 200.
Getting there.
Getting there, and then we could quit.
Yep. Then we're in syndication.
Exactly. So we got Marc and Bri, the dream team today.
Hello.
And
Do we ever have anyone else?
every 20th episode, somebody else will pop in.
Usually you don't have me.
Yeah, our
but
special guest this week is brought.
You're actually the second most person who actually does the show.
It would be
that's-
Marc and Jay with special guest Bri.
I was so mad. I wanted to be on the show last time. I was going to do a live remote from the parking lot at Hershey Park, but then some guy gave me a free ticket to go to the show, so I went in.
So Bri, don't explain what you're talking about.
Oh no! Last episode 2 weeks ago, you guys did a show, and I told Jay. First, I told Jay I was away and I couldn't be on it, and then I told him I could be on it, and then I told him I couldn't be on it. So what happened
Holy
was
shit, this is interesting.
It was a roller coaster of emotions.
Well, what happened was I was in Hershey Park for the weekend with my lady friend, and
Is this your lady friend who's not your girlfriend, but you've been hooking up with on and off for 300 years?
sort of, yeah.
Do you call it what do you say? Hey, let's go away together, or go, I'm gonna be at Hershey if you happen to show up between the hours of 10 and 4 a.m.
It was her idea, and I kind of said yes because I want to go to Hershey Park. The reason that
Wait, but so she broached it with you and goes, hey, do you want to go away together? And you would say, why? Did something like a boyfriend girlfriend do? Why would we go away together?
no, this is what happened. See, two of her favorite bands or singers or entertainment acts, whatever, were playing there on back days. One night was Jimmy Buffett, the next night was Zach Brown. They were playing at Hershey Park, and those are her two favorites.
You don't think they're okay calling them just bands or musicians? You want to call them whatever?
Well, I don't know. I mean, is Jimmy Buffett a band or is he a person?
You said singer. You
Whatever,
made it
singer,
sound
yeah.
you made it sound like band singular.
Just let him
singer,
finish
or,
the goddamn story.
So
I thought
she
maybe
was
she
like,
said-
she's like, oh, they're playing it. First, she's like, oh, they're playing Hershey Park. You want to go down there? And I was like, well, I don't want to go to the show, but I'll go to Hershey Park. I was like, if you buy a ticket and you go, I'll go with you. So we went down Saturday. We went to Hershey Park for the day.
I'm not gonna never let you get through your story. Why are you so excited to go to Hershey Park? Are you 16?
Yeah.
Okay, go on.
I went to Hershey Park in the tour
I'm not
of the-
married with kids. I can afford to go to an amusement park.
It's just so you mean I would always go. I mean, she wanted to go to Hershey Park. I mean, I would always be up for it. It just sounds like you're overly enthusiastic for it.
I haven't been to Hershey Park since I was 6. I thought it'd be a fun thing to get away for the weekend.
Yeah,
Okay,
I went when I was
do
a
this
kid.
stupid show and listen to people like you.
The tour of the chocolate factory was closed when I went there. So I was like, well, that's kind of the whole point of coming here. Thanks.
No, it was open when I went. So anyway, she was going to Zach Brown on Sunday, and I told her I wasn't going to go. I said, I'll either go to the park while you're at the show, or I will sit in a hotel room while you're at the show, or I'll sit in my car while you're at the show. And so
You're a great quasi boyfriend.
Well, I don't like Zach
Why
Brown.
just go to the stupid show with her?
I wasn't going to waste my money on it, and she wasn't going to buy me a ticket. So
Wow,
we
you
get
are-
there. So she
so
goes
she
into
call-
the show,
you
and
are-
I'm just
wait.
sitting in the parking lot watching all the people. And it was like I had my iPad with me, and I was just sitting around watching all the people. I had no beer, which was the worst part. And so I told Jay I was going to do the show because I was just sitting there and I had nothing to do for 5 hours. Then this guy walks by and is like, hey, you want a free ticket? And I'm like, not really. He's like, it's free. And I was like, I heard you. He's like, you don't want it? My friend bailed on me. And I was like, all right, fine, I'll take it. So I took it and I went into the show.
I like how you had to be coerced into.
I was like, nah, I'm kind of cool where I am at the moment, but
I feel like you give us the nice version. I feel like this girl you're dating must be so beat down to accept this from you. I feel like you probably were she's probably could you please just go away? Could you please just be seen in public with me? And you're like, I will stay in the car, and I will not. And if we see anyone, I will walk the other direction.
No. I said I'll be seen in public with you out of state. That was the kind of the deal. So.
Yeah.
I believe that was true, actually.
Bri was like, when we're driving down there, if anybody looks from the other car into our car, they'll see us. That counts as being in public.
When we're in the car, you have to pretend you're one of those dummies people keep in their car to try to go in the in the carpool lane.
Okay.
So that was why I missed last week's last show. I'm sorry.
That's all right.
Dad, the guy the one that wakes me over at 4 a.m. said he'll sit in the car while I go to a concert. I think this is love.
I updated the forums. This is your 47th episode, Bri.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
What's the
Considering
next?
I did the first 40. That's not too good.
What's the next step in your relationship?
I don't know. I don't think there is one.
When you guys go to dinner, do you eat in the car also and cheat inside?
Drive through.
No, we go in.
Do you guys do anything like? Do you guys go to bars together or movies together or anywhere in public together?
Not really.
If your job said you had an office party and they said you could bring your significant other, would you even think of her?
No, I wouldn't even tell her. I'd be like, oh, no, we couldn't bring our family. Sorry.
And then later on, you talk about some guy with his girlfriend there, and you're like, oh, whatever. I wasn't gonna bring you anyhow.
Yeah, no, the girlfriend just showed up. I didn't know that you can do that, and that's all.
The
Bride's
girlfriend
really-
also she just got hired on the spot.
That's all. Yeah, that's what I say.
I lived with Bri for years. He's very good at spinning a story.
I just went away 3 weeks ago. My kickball team, a girl on my kickball team, has a house in Vermont, and she had a weekend party. She invited the whole team, and only like 4 people went. And she was like, "Oh yeah, bring your spouses, girlfriends." So I said to her, "I'm going to Vermont for the weekend. Our kickball team's having a party. Just the team?" I'm like, "Yeah, just the team. Sorry." Then when I got back, I was telling her about it, and I was like, she's like, "Well, how come those people were there?" I'm like, "Well, there's a husband and wife who were on the team, and a boyfriend and girlfriend who were on the team. So it.
There you go.
Do you think she can fill a large pot or just maybe a small pot with her tears at night?
Probably."
That's what Bri bathes in the morning.
Oh my God.
Keeps his skin moist.
Yeah.
Poland Spring is just really her tears. She just cries a lot.
Stop!
Wow.
You're gonna make me feel guilty.
Why would we?
It's not even that she's a bad person. It's just that
I think we think you're the bad person. Go on.
Oh yeah. Well, that's what I was gonna say. Yeah.
Why? What were you gonna say? It's not that she's a bad person, but what?
It's just that I like being alone.
Okay.
It's not you. I'm just more of a loner.
And you're
and
intruding on that.
I just don't want to be alone at 3 a.m. when I'm drunk. Other than that, I prefer to be alone.
And you're ruining everything, you ruiner.
Ruiner.
When I want interesting conversation, I have the wall. Could you please leave?
So what's going on the show this week?
I just got back from Cincinnati.
Oh yeah.
That's exciting.
For what?
A wedding. One of my wife's old coworker got married there, and we got to go sans kids. The kids were with the grandparents, so it was our first weekend away since we've had both kids, and it was wonderful. No one's ever been as excited as I was to go to Cincinnati.
I'd like to go to Cincinnati. I've never been there.
We were in the airport, and some woman, it was us and some of her friends, and some woman was like, "Are you guys going to a wedding?" And I was like, "Yeah, how'd you know?" "Well, a bunch of New Yorkers going to Cincinnati."
What?
That was a reason. She was like, I was like, how'd you know we were going to a wedding? She's like, "Well, a bunch of New Yorkers going to Cincinnati." She's like, "Why else would you go?"
Oh, I get it.
It was actually kind of cool. I thought Cincinnati was a pretty cool city. Brian, I would recommend it if you're looking to go to cities that have football and baseball teams.
Yeah, I'm a Bengals fan, so.
Oh, then definitely. The stadiums are right near the city.
Yeah.
They're part of the city, so it's actually a pretty cool scene. And everyone was really into the Bengals.
Yeah.
We asked some guy for directions. We're trying to find where down where the water was, and he proceeded to be our drunk, weird tour guide, and he was shouting at people as they walked by, being like, "Are we gonna win on Sunday?" And at first, I thought he like knew the people, but then I realized he was just shouting at random people, and people were responding.
Mm.
I'm really into the Bangles.
If you shout at if you're in any city and you shout at people like in the sports kind of way, they'll shout back. I mean, you don't have to know them.
Yeah, I guess so. It wasn't a bad city. It was also good. It was a good city for visiting when you want to get rest because we were like, there's nothing here we feel like we're missing, so we can just like hang out, not do anything, nothing to see. It was good. It was very much a good city for like relaxing.
I
Can I tell you about before you jump in, Jay? Can I tell you about a disgusting habit of my son?
Sure.
So we are in the throes of potty training.
So this is going to be grosser than I was prepared for.
It's quick. This is a quick thing. So after he pees, the next thing we tell him to do is to take toilet paper and wipe his wee-wee and throw it in the toilet. What he does is wipes his wee-wee and then wipes his...
Anyways, I'm sorry.
Sorry, how many 3-year-olds have you raised? And then he proceeds to wipe his face, hair, and entire body with that toilet paper. And I can't stop him.
He does it like every time?
Every time he does it, then he starts wiping his whole body and starts cracking up and does it like really fast. You can't like stop him.
Awesome.
Tell him to do the body first, the wee-wee last. Problem solved.
Maybe Bri has raised a 3-year-old. That's a good idea.
Should have thought of that.
Rub your hair, your face, and then your wee-wee, son. What's going on, Jay?
Let's see. I fell through the floor at a Buddhist temple.
Hey, hang on 1 second.
Okay. Well, that was an awkward place to
What
stop
exactly are you doing at a Buddhist temple?
Well, I was doing. My girlfriend's Buddhist, and so
Mine's Jewish.
Yeah, I've dated a couple of Jewish girls before. It's I don't know. Buddhist is it's pretty laid back. It's kind of just like don't be a dick, and that's pretty much it. There's no like hellfire and damnation and all that stuff. So I kind of like that. But
So you fell through the floor.
I did. I fell through the floor. So yeah, I was helping renovate the place because they're getting like a new kitchen and stuff, and it was my day off. So I was like, I'll do something nice and help renovate. And I was like measuring something along the perimeter of the wall, and I didn't realize one of the floorboards was missing. So I'm going over foot by foot measuring stuff, and then I'm up to my waist. Through the floor, and my feet are like in the ceiling of the floor below, which was one of the monks' rooms. So basically, I caused more damage than I actually did helping. So I don't know if I'm invited back there ever.
Doesn't sound like you were very helpful.
No, it was pretty painful too. I have like a 360-degree black and blue on my thigh right now.
That's
I
awful.
broke my arm playing kickball.
Oh, is it officially broken?
I went to the doctor and there's a fracture in one of my bones.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Did you get it in time, or are they gonna have to like reset it now?
No, he said I waited too long, so it's just gonna go on its own.
So now you're just gonna have like a deformed arm?
I guess it doesn't look deformed. It just hurts like hell.
Wow, that's pretty awful.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what you always wanted, some weird deformity in college. So.
Yeah.
How bad would it have to get for you to get disability? Like for the rest of your life?
Oh, I don't know.
Do you think about like, hey, maybe they could break it worse? Then I could just sit around all day.
I tried that. I was out 3 days when I had my carpal tunnel surgery. I was bored out of my mind.
Did you have the girl over?
She watched the dog for me for 3 days, so I didn't have to do anything for him.
You're a strange guy, Bri.
Why? What?
I don't know. You're just like you like hate work, but then you get bored when you're like not at work for 5 minutes. It's just the whole thing's just weird.
Well, it's no fun not working when everybody else you know is at work.
I disagree.
That's the
I would
problem.
disagree. I would disagree as well. Should we cut to our main story of the night, the Ray Rice story?
Yeah, when did this turn into like psychoanalyze me and That's why I only do the show every like 6 times.
We didn't even want to talk about you, but you
Oh.
forced the issue.
Yeah, you just had interesting stories this week, Brian. I mean, it's not
Yeah.
every day you say you like went with your quasi girlfriend, but sat in the car in a different state and then broke your arm playing kickball. I mean, it's an interesting lineup.
Your quasi girlfriend is really just fascinates me. I really want to get her on the show. Can she come on the show?
No.
Why? I promise I will not. I promise it'll be really nice.
No. That's what I'm afraid of.
She's like, this is the way guys treat people.
Your
Have you-
friends
has-
sound cool. I want to hang out with them. That's what she'll say.
Has she met one of your friends?
Yeah.
Okay. In what context? Like, she was just leaving.
Friends walk in. Time for you to
I don't
get the
remember.
hell out.
Wait, where was it?
I don't remember. I'm trying to think.
All right,
Oh,
let's-
a friend of mine was throwing like a fundraiser, and we went to it. It was like a dinner, like at a bar and stuff.
that sounds social.
Yeah, that's pretty social. Did you sit
For a
with her?
good cause, I guess. I don't remember what the cause was, but
More importantly, did you sit with her?
yeah.
Okay. At the end of the night, did you say later, or did she come back with you?
Well, we went back to her house because the place was closer to her house than mine.
Do you sleep over, spend the whole night, or do you like leave? After,
She does. She comes here.
Oh, okay.
She
But when
doesn't
you're-
have air. She doesn't have air conditioning, so I don't go to her house in the summer.
Okay.
Fair enough. All right, let's
Yeah.
do our
Okay, so Ray Rice, very important story. Everyone's heard about it. It's much more important than ISIS or anything else going on in the real international world.
Well, ISIS isn't real anyway.
Yeah, it's all a public conspiracy, a Jewish conspiracy. Sorry. Anyhow, so TMZ supposedly has all the behind the scenes important stuff, but we've topped TMZ.
If I did something bad, do you think TMZ would release the video within an hour or 2 hours? Like, do they just have cameras everywhere?
I think if you do something bad, TMZ would say, "Oh, who gives a shit?"
I feel like they have better surveillance than the NSA.
What does TMZ stand for anyway?
3 Mile Zone.
Oh, really?
Are you serious?
I looked it up once on Wikipedia.
I was not expecting anything knowledgeable to come out of this podcast.
I forget what that even stands for. What that actually means.
It's probably like all the celebrities are within 3 miles of Hollywood or some crap like that.
Yeah, there's something behind it, but that's what it stands for.
See, I hate TMZ that like harasses celebrities, but I like TMZ that like finds like tapes of people beating their wives.
Harasses bad celebrities.
Yeah, like it's annoying when they're like just chasing Lindsay Lohan down the street, but like when they're doing something productive, I don't mind it.
when they're ruining Lindsay Lohan's life, it's kind of annoying.
Yeah, but I
Ray
mean, she
Rice's
didn't
life,
do anything. Like, this has actually like benefited somebody.
Yeah.
Like finding out what Lindsay Lohan had for lunch, it doesn't benefit anybody.
Like if TMZ was around in 2001, we'd know what happened to Building 7.
Exactly.
Oh God.
So many people got mad at me on
Oh,
Thursday.
please don't think this is a 9/11.
Oh, by the way, Jay, my quasi-pseudo girlfriend loves all of your posts on Facebook. She told me that the other day. She
Is
goes,
she
your
on
friend,
Facebook?
your friend Jay is so funny.
Wait, can I see a picture of her?
Wait, I set my thing to private. How is she even? Is she just looking through your account?
Yeah, she
Okay.
saw it on my stuff.
Oh, okay. So can we be friends with her?
No. She saw like
No,
I
I
was
know,
on the
but does she have a profile and can we be
No,
friends
no.
with her?
no. She was on my computer on my page. that she
Totally
saw.
get that, but does she have a Facebook profile?
No, not that I know of.
You're
I mean, if she does, I'm not friends with her.
I love it.
Reminder, your hookup buddy wants to be friends with you. I don't know this person. Exit. So what do you guys, before we cut to our exclusive audio, what's your view on the Ray Rice situation?
Well, as a Bengal fan, and I don't like the Ravens, I'm kind of glad that he got suspended. Hello?
I just see how awkward we can make it.
I mean, I want to know why the first video was out 4 months ago and this other video just came out a week ago. That's kind of...
Okay, so we have behind the scenes footage, or audio, not footage, audio, because we're a podcast. of the NFL. Hang on a second. Sorry.
What the hell is going on? Is his
Jesus.
son wiping pee all over
What's your
his head
kid?
again?
Yeah, what's your kid wiping piss all over himself?
Yeah, a bunch of people got mad at me on 9/11. I don't know why.
Yeah,
Touchy subject, I guess.
I guess so.
You question why a building combusted and turned to dust, and everyone's like, that's inappropriate to even question.
Yeah.
Well, I think I was told it's disrespectful to do that. And I said I think it's more disrespectful to not ask questions and have those people die in vain.
Yeah.
That's my opinion.
I mean, the people still died one way or the other. You might as well find out the truth.
Exactly. But we live in the age of everyone being way too sensitive about everything.
Mm-hmm.
Did we talk about last show with how Ricky Gervais had to like delete his tweet because everyone flipped out?
No, about what?
About all the nudie pictures that got hacked into. He put on
no.
Twitter. Oh, you weren't on the last show, so we might have
No.
talked about it.
That just happened like a week ago.
Okay.
Didn't
Well, he put on Twitter like, if you don't want nude pictures getting leaked, don't fill up your computer with nude pictures. And everyone's like, oh, those pictures were stolen and it's private and you're an asshole for saying that and these women's bodies were violated and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, but see, here's the thing about nudie. Once a nudie picture comes out, nobody cares about that person anymore. It's like everybody wants to see Jennifer Lawrence naked. Now that we saw her naked, it's like, okay, now you could go back to making serious movies. We saw your tits. Nobody cares.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not like her career's ruined or, I don't know. Yeah, everything's fine. Everything's back to normal. Most people probably forgot about it already.
I think, like, everybody should just have to, like, take a mandatory naked picture and put it on the internet.
Well, apparently everyone does because
Just so it's a level playing field.
the list of people that had them was so extensive. I'm like, I guess this is like a thing.
Yeah.
I guess it's a new cultural thing. I don't get it. Nobody wanted, well, maybe because I have a terrible body. I guess if I had a better body, maybe I'd be more inclined to do that. I don't know. I still don't think I would, though.
No.
I think it's kind of awkward. I don't know. Have you ever done that?
No.
Yeah, it's. I find that kind of strange.
Yeah. Apparently, it's a pretty common thing for, like, young people nowadays, but...
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. I think everyone does it now, and it just seems like a strange habit.
I am back. Sorry, we're having problems tonight.
That's all right. We were just. Have you ever taken a nudie selfie?
Only the ones I've sent to you, Jay.
Okay.
Are we still recording?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
That's what we were talking about.
Okay. Wait. Jay, have you?
No, I just feel nobody wants to see my terrible body.
Bri, have you?
No.
I was just picturing us as being three people that no one ever wants to see our bodies. That's all.
Yeah. That's. I mean, I don't know.
I would have been floored if Bri had said, "Yeah, I sent them to that weird girl that I hook up with."
No.
Does she ever send any to you?
No.
Can she send some to us?
I doubt it.
Okay, so anyhow, we have behind the scenes. It's Roger Goodwell. Godwell. How do you pronounce his last name?
Goodell.
Goodell.
Goodell, yeah.
Why is it spelled different?
It's not. It's spelled exactly the way it sounds.
I just wrote it wrong. I just spelled it wrong.
Your reading skills really kind of scare me sometimes.
Terrible.
Don't you have like a good job too?
They're not above a third grade level. I know.
Like, how do you evaluate? Like, you're a recruiter, right?
yeah.
How do you evaluate people if you can't like read resumes?
I don't do a good job, apparently. Okay, so we have this audio was prior to the release of the in elevator punch in the face video. Let's cut to the audio.
Okay. Hey, Roger, I think you should see this video.
Yes.
Ray Rice, Super Bowl.
Listen, if we don't look at the video, there are lots of interpretations as to what could have happened inside the elevator. Maybe she sneezed and hit her head against the wall.
So you don't think this video is going to come out ever? We have the only
Maybe
copy.
she got really excited and hit her head against the ceiling. I'm not saying these things happen, but without the actual video, maybe these things happened.
So what's the plan?
So maybe she headbutted his fist and passed out. These are things that could have happened.
So these are just the things you're going to say when this story comes out.
Maybe she held her breath because she was annoyed and passed out.
Okay, so what's the punishment for this?
Maybe there were banana peels and she slipped in the elevator.
I love when the show does skits.
All right, that was a great skit. Let's go.
It had so much promise until Bri got into it.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, we were killing it. That was that was one of our best bits ever.
Oh God, I don't know how Roger Goodell talks. Goodell talks. My theory is that basically he just figured the video wouldn't come out, and he's like, "Hey, remember that time the prosecutor's office screwed us by charging him with no crime?"
Yeah, what about Peterson now? He got carried away beating his son with a switch?
Well, just going back to Jersey for a second. Jersey just said he's a first-time offender, so they just gave him the pre-trial intervention, whatever. They allowed him to just go to therapy.
So you get one child beating for free in Jersey?
You get
No,
one
that's
every day.
Peterson.
I don't understand. Like, anytime anybody gets arrested for something, like, you get arrested for, like, DUI, it's like, oh, you're going to go to treatment. Well, I'm not alcoholic. I just needed to get home from the bar.
I don't know. I think I would say Ray Rice has issues. I think he does need
Well,
to
yeah,
treat-
I agree with that. But it's like, oh, you knocked your girlfriend cold in the casino? Well, we'll just send you to a little support group here. And
Well, they say this is what they do in general in Jersey. That's what they did with him. They just said,
Yeah.
this is how, apparently in New Jersey, you get one free punch. And so you should really get your shoulder into it. You really should work it because that's the only free punch you're getting.
I'm amazed Ray Rice didn't do the whole addiction route.
What would he say he's addicted to? Punching?
Yeah, he's
should have said somebody slipped him Molly.
Or no, he could have blamed the whole thing on alcohol and said he has a drinking addiction and he needs help for that. He's not even violent. It's just the alcohol.
He didn't even appear drunk in the video.
Of course not.
He should have just said, like, I'm addicted to Tybo, and I was practicing.
You
Although
should have just blamed it on Obama like everything else.
that's the Fox News version.
Yeah.
Although she did hit him first, but we're not allowed to say that, right? Because it's
Well, he also spit at her twice.
he spit.
Remember
at
when
her?
I got punched for spitting on a girl, Jay?
Wait, you got punched for spitting on a girl?
Was it
Yeah.
the girl you're hooking up with?
No. Remember in spring break when I got that black eye?
Yeah, you spit on her.
Well, she said I spit on her, but I didn't.
Oh,
Well, I might
okay,
have.
yeah.
Why are you spitting on girls?
No, I was drunk and I was arguing with this girl, and she told me I spit on her. And I said, no, I didn't. And then she said, you spit on me again, and she punched me.
Yeah, because the girl went up to Bri and said, like, buy me a drink. And Bri's like, no.
She spilled her drink on me. She was like 19. She did it on purpose. She's like, you owe me a drink. I was like, I'll give you $4 for a drink, but I'm not buying you a fucking drink.
Wait, this was spring break, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, this was like 10 years ago.
No, but you said she was 19 as if you weren't 20.
We went to spring break after we got out of college.
Yeah, we're creeps.
Oh,
We didn't
okay.
go to our first spring break till we were 21.
Oh, because you made it sound like she was the youngest girl ever, and you're like, she was 19. I'm like, weren't you?
No, I mean, she was definitely underage for the bar.
Yeah, she wasn't allowed to, we weren't going to risk, buying drunk underage girls drinks. What are we, frat guys?
Instead, I'll take a black eye.
Yeah.
I will not buy you a drink. You're underage. I will just take you back to my place instead.
Well, yeah, first day on spring break, I got sun poisoning and Bri gets a black eye. We were off to a great start.
Wow, that was I'm surprised they didn't make a movie out of that one.
That's like the PG-13 version of The Hangover.
Nothing interesting happened after that, though. So
I saw the Roger Goodell said on the when he did his interview that people hold the NFL to a higher standard, and that was the issue he had. That's why he had to suspend Ray Rice indefinitely.
The higher standard, meaning they don't like when players beat their wives. And so that's like an outrageous requirement that only his league has.
Right. If you cold cock your girlfriend,
That's
you
such
get
bullshit that people are so against domestic violence.
I know. I think like you're holding them to way too high of a standard. I mean, I understand like if he like maybe like punched her twice, then like the NFL has to step in, but not once.
I mean, how are you supposed to even run a league if you're not going to allow that kind of stuff?
Do you really think it was okay because she punched him first?
No, but I can see how that could piss you off if a crazy bitch is punching you in the nose.
What if that crazy bitch is like a quarter of your size?
Well, obviously you don't punch her as hard as you can when you're like a professional athlete.
You know how I love the fact that Ray Rice in the video didn't even get like he did it and it was like, oh, again.
Yeah, I fucking did it. Basically, he was just.
He
like,
didn't seem like he didn't seem like, oh my god, she's passed out. He was like, oh god, now I gotta deal with this.
Now I got to get this fucking body out of the elevator.
He's like, should I leave her here? Should I not leave her here?
Yeah, like when he got her like halfway out of the elevator and he's like, yeah, I'm tired. I'm just going to like kick at her legs now.
There's a fucking casino, man. I can't believe. Oh my god, there's cameras here.
Yeah, who would
No
have
way.
thought?
Would have been great if Ray Rice had just planned on like there was a third person in the elevator, and then the video came out. He was like, "No, there was another guy in the elevator hit her. It was really ridiculous." And then you just see see him in the video and him punching her.
Well, that's
If he was smart, he would have like after he knocked her out, he would have like just fallen down and acted like he was out cold. So when the elevator opens, they're both just out cold, like in like a Ocean's 11 or something.
Or like Rocky 2.
that was the crazy part. Like the NFL obviously knows that there's cameras in casinos. And they made absolutely no effort to see what actually happened.
Yeah, I know. It wasn't like I said this at work because it was 9/11. I said it's not like they were trying to get the surveillance footage around the Pentagon that the government suppressed. It's a casino video. You could walk in and be like, "Hey, can I look at that video?" "Oh, sure. Here you go." The casino's not even in business anymore. What do they care?
Exactly.
Mr. Goodell, I think we could just call up the casino and get the video. Yeah, but
Yeah, no, we're trying to keep our long distance minutes down.
they probably don't have telephones over there.
Yeah.
Oh, they sent over the video, Mr. Goodell. Oh, yeah, but that's a DVD. I have a Blu-ray player. They probably aren't. You probably can't play with this one on that one.
I have a laser disc.
Yeah.
I got a good idea. Let's let all the women in the building watch it before we do.
You know, Mr. Goodell, the video is playing right in front of you. Yeah, but, I've got to close my eyes now.
There's a bird flying out my window. I got to watch that instead.
I'll look up. I'm playing Candy Crush. Sorry, guys. Yeah, so Adrian Peterson beat his son and just said, yeah, that's how I did it that's how I do it.
At least he didn't try and cover it up. He's just like, yeah, he was bad and I gave him a beating.
What's a switch?
I think that's like a leather.
It's a piece of a leaf. Hey, did you guys ever see the movie Broken City?
No. Is that like part 2 of Brokeback Mountain?
No, it's actually pretty good. It's Russell Crowe and Mark Wahlberg.
What's this have to do with the switch?
Well, no, it wasn't to do with the switch. It was to do with Goodell, because there's this great scene at the end of the movie that I almost picture the Goodell Rice interview being like. But if you guys haven't seen the movie, I won't talk about it. No, a switch, they said, is like a branch or something, didn't they? Like a bamboo branch or something?
Oh, I thought it was like a belt. I don't know. I thought they stopped using switches in like the 50s.
Maybe he just hit him with a light switch.
Maybe.
Isn't it nice when an NFL player's son gets beaten and we all learn a valuable lesson of what to switch?
After he had a kid die, he beats his other kid.
That is true.
Yeah. I like that his kid calls him Daddy Peterson. Not to be confused with this other daddy.
Oh my God. Should we go? Do we have more for the story, or are we done?
No, we're done.
Okay. Let's go to our Facebook questions because the Ray Rice thing didn't go nearly as well as planned.
Yeah. Maybe we should actually come up with dialogue before we try and ad-lib an entire skit.
If I knew that was going to be a bad bit, I would have went to the bathroom during it or something.
Well, can't win them all.
Yeah. That's what you get for putting me on the show.
I don't know. My favorite part tonight's been learning more about Bri's life.
Every episode, I'll give you more and more details. It'll be like a puzzle.
That'd be fantastic. Like each week, I'll be like, "Would you rather?" Jay will be Infowars, and Bri will be like, "Here's something else I do."
Here's another clue to my antisocial life.
Do you have Infowars with us?
I do.
Jay?
I do.
Because the first question we have on Facebook from Brink is Austin writes, do some Infowars articles.
I do have a
That's
couple.
not a question, but thank you.
Yeah.
It's questions or topics.
Oh,
Okay. So let's see. We'll do this real quick. So you know the deal. I read you what the article's about. You come up with a crazy comment, and I will read a real crazy comment.
You're assuming that we don't have any like new listeners?
No, we have no. We have
Okay, go on.
I
Jay.
forgot how this works, so thanks for the reminder.
Okay, so it's a conservative website, so the comments are always crazy. So I'm going to read real ones. Mark and Bri are going to make up fake comments.
I'm not saying all conservatives are crazy, but this website is.
Exactly. So the State Department orders 160,000 Ebola hazmat suits. That was
Okay.
pretty self-explanatory for what the article's about.
Okay, so I would say that Obama plans to kill off the white males with Ebola because those people won't vote for him.
Is Bri there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Oh, do you want to guess?
I'm thinking for a second. I give up.
Wow.
So the comment is, I'm more interested in the chemicals that are sold on this site that are probably part of the mind control tactics used in the PSYOPs, false flag, Zionist, Muslim terrorist, infidel, immigrant narrative, and chemtrails. I don't even know what that means.
It's a lot of words
It's a lot of words.
Psyops?
without like a verb in that sentence.
Yeah. I just like the tacked on and chemtrails.
Wow.
Yeah. Because
Didn't
that's
have that one going.
That's a huge thing on the site, that the government is flying overhead and spraying chemicals on everybody's heads.
There was an
I've been hearing that for years.
Yeah.
Actually,
I don't know
Yeah,
what to make
it's
of
been
that.
it's been a crazy theory for years. There was actually an article in the Times today, or one of the op-ed pieces. Should we put lithium in our water?
Should
because-
we? Like,
Yeah.
okay.
Like apparently people take lithium are less likely to kill themselves. So they were like, we should put lithium in our water. I was like, oh, that sounds batshit insane.
What if I just want water in my water?
we need more people to kill themselves. It'd be easier.
I mean, we got a lot of overpopulation as it is.
Brian would be the best 911 operator.
They're just
Oh,
wasting
yeah.
resources.
Why don't you just kill yourself and save him the trouble?
My
Yeah,
husband's
man,
about to
they're just
kill-
wasting resources at this point.
The suicide hotline. And I don't know. My boyfriend broke up with me. And oh, you agree I should kill myself?
Sir,
You have
you're
some-
wasting resources.
Oh, you're saying waste a bit more efficiently? Okay.
Okay, next article is saying that the sea level is rising. Which was weird because this site would usually say the sea level is not rising. But I guess that's why people in the comment section were angry.
The chemicals that are spraying over by the U.S. government over our head are making us all shorter. And so we just think the sea level is rising because we're getting shorter.
Bri, do you have one?
Obama's melting the ice caps to make the waters rise to flood out poor sections of black cities like New Orleans.
That's a pretty good one.
Or maybe Obama's really into yachting and needs more space for yacht races. So he's raising the ocean level. Okay, go.
All you Chicken Little alarmists are idiots. Scientific proof the global warming paranoia is a farce, and their, quote, scientific evidence was made up falsehoods to expound on the lies. The Earth has always had fluctuation cycles in temperature and weather due to the orbit and relationship to the sun before any man-made industrialized emissions or influence. The The global warming rhetoric is all about control and money for the elite.
Except there's no money in it because nobody's giving any money to it because the Republicans are blocking everything.
Right.
I love how the answer to global warming not being real is, yeah, the temperature was different yesterday.
I know. And then I wanted some more crazy comments, so I egged them on. So I just posted, some say the sea levels are rising at historic rates, but posters and Infowars know better. It's just an NWO scam. And I reeled in a crazy comment. So that
NWO being New World Order.
yeah. That one reeled in. Some scientists adjusted the altimeters on the satellites to show an increase in sea level. NASA shut down its satellite after a period of sea level decline, kind of like the scientists that have changed the past temperature data or omit data from tree rings that doesn't continue to foster their phony hypothesis. So basically, every bit of science is a scam.
Yeah, they wouldn't have an S in the word science if it wasn't a scam. They shared the first two letters.
And this one had a third crazy comment, and this one came out of nowhere. This one says, one thing we can all do to fight liberalism is to save our old garbage, let it rot for 2 weeks, then throw the garbage at the children of Democrats on the way to school while telling them their parents are dead.
That just sounds like fun.
So that was for the sea levels rising. I don't know. Yeah.
Wow.
Totally relevant comment.
Yeah. What was the article actually? The article said the sea levels are rising?
The actual article said, let me pull it up again. The actual article said the extent of the Arctic sea ice reaches record levels. And then somewhere in the article, it mentioned sea levels rising.
Yeah.
You know what I kind of want to happen, although this would probably be bad? I'd really like them to find a comet or an asteroid that's like coming towards Earth, like Armageddon or whatever. Because I would love to see like the anti-science people like, that's bullshit. They just made that up.
And once you could see it, they'd be like, well, that's fine.
Yeah.
We could just pray the asteroid away.
Yeah.
Like God comes back and like it just says to everyone, no, you guys are screwing things up. It's completely man-made. And like, well, it's just God. Maybe God's part of the conspiracy.
That was a hologram made by the NWO and Obama to take away our freedoms.
Yeah. How do we know it's coming towards us?
Yeah. And then if it crushes their neighbor, they'd be like, well, he wasn't a true believer.
Obama's just making the sea levels rise to take away our freedoms.
Yeah.
That's the thing I never understood about like the anti like global warming. Like, even if it's not true, isn't it worth looking into? Just be like, what's the worst that could happen?
The worst can happen, Brian. The worst that can happen is short-term profits will go down, and that's most important because in the short term I make money. In the long term, I'm probably dead before this kicks in. That's usually the theory on everything.
We got an email.
Ooh.
Okay.
It's from Alex. Hey guys, I know this is supposed to be a comedy podcast, but there was a bit of politics talk in the last show, so I was wondering if there's been any coverage over there of Scotland voting in a few days to be independent from the United Kingdom.
No, Alex, there's been no talk of that.
There's almost been absolutely none. It's amazing how little there has been. Also, what are your first thoughts when it comes to Scotland? Do you know anything other than Whiskey, Golf, and Braveheart? Terrible film.
I feel like the Scotland news was part of like you watched the 6:30 like primetime news, and it was like at the end that like in lighter news, Scotland wants their independence. They might actually vote for this. Anyhow, go to cutting the hell with sports.
Isn't that cute?
I think the only thing I know about Scotland is Scotland Yard, and I don't even think that's in Scotland.
Braveheart?
I never saw Braveheart.
That's Scotland, right?
Yes, he wrote terrible film. I thought it was a very good film, but maybe if you're Scottish, it's full of bullshit. Who knows?
Oh, I really like Braveheart, but again, I'm not Scottish. All I know about Scotland is from Braveheart. I assume nothing's happened since.
Kilts.
I always lump them in as being drunk with the Irish.
They have the flag with the cross, right? The red and white with like a plus sign.
Why do they suddenly want their independence?
I don't know. They got bored.
Why not?
Like I'm not. Why not? But is there any oppression going on? Is there any reason like that suddenly, like as opposed to like 5 years ago, this is suddenly an issue?
And if they're being oppressed, why didn't the United States bomb the shit out of whoever was oppressing them?
Because they're white people.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Brian nails it.
'Cause they don't have oil.
White people can fight for themselves.
Yeah, I don't know anything about Scotland. All right, okay, quick roundtable, guys. Bri, should Scotland have its independence? Go, yes or no?
Sure.
Jay, yes or no? Scotland independence.
Abso-friggin-lutely.
Okay, there you have it.
All right.
Scotland independence. We agree. Is there any more of that email?
It just says, anyway, love the show. Keep up the good work.
Thanks, Alex.
All right. Thank you, Alex. So let's do Facebook stuff.
Gilem.
Wait, before we switch to that, can I rant about some more current events?
Absolutely.
I know
crazy.
this isn't the basketball Nick show, but I really am.
If it's
That
Knicks
whole thing-
related.
No, it's not Nick related, but it's basketball related.
Okay.
That whole thing that's going on with Danny Ferry and the Hawks.
Oh, yeah, because you can't sell your basketball team unless you say something ignorant and racist first?
No. Danny Ferry is the GM.
Right. Well,
Not the owner.
the owner said something racist.
Yeah.
too.
All right. So Danny Ferry read a scouting report on a conference call where the guy said Luol Deng has a little African in him,
Right.
and everybody wants him fired for that.
Is that all he said?
What?
Is that all he said?
Something like that. But by that all right, so they want him fired for reading something. So by that logic, shouldn't every guy on TV and radio who repeated what he said be fired because they're reading what he said?
There's got to be more than that.
Yeah, I feel like you misread this story.
No, Danny Ferry. No, I know the owner said something stupid, but Danny Ferry, the GM, was on a conference call with somebody. I don't know who he's on a conference call with, and he read a scouting report about Luol Deng, and he said the scouting report said, yeah, he's got a little African in him. He's the type of guy that would sell like counterfeit stuff outside of a high-end store or some shit like that. And apparently that's racist. I don't know how it is, but everybody wants him fired for that. But everybody repeated what he said, and he was repeating what someone else said.
Well, if that's all he said, then that's ridiculous because he is African.
Okay, and so from Wikipedia, on June 2014, Ferry made racist remarks in a conference call about Miami Heat player Luol Deng. Hawks co-owner Michael Gearin called for him to resign or be dismissed. Coonan announced they had a decision not to dismiss
No,
Ferry.
Bry's right. I just read it. Bry's right. He
The
read.
scouting report dated June 6th said he is a good guy on the cover, but he's an African. He has a little two-step in him. Says what you want to hear, but behind closed doors, he could be killing you. He's African-like. Storefront looks great, but there's a black market section in the back.
Wait, Ferry read all that out loud on a conference call?
Yeah. But
Well,
I mean, it wasn't his.
It wasn't
Right,
his,
okay,
scouting
I'm not-
report said that, and he read that.
First of
So
all,
everybody wants him fired for reading that, but everybody who's on TV repeating what he said should be fired too. It's the same thing.
in fairness, two things. First, was this the first time he ever read it? Like, did he read this ahead of time and not fire his scout?
Does that even matter?
Well, I'm just saying he's the GM. He probably is in charge of the scout, and the scout submits things like, "Well, his big I don't know, that spear chucker will be good in our team." It's like, okay, yeah. Like, does he talk like this with the player with the scouts?
I don't know, but
His scouts think it's totally cool to throw in like racist remarks into their.
I know what you're saying, but it's still ridiculous if all he did is read that.
And second, wouldn't you, like, when you're reading it, like, stop halfway and go, "Oh my god, I can't believe this was written, and I'm sorry, I've not seen this before," and not just keep like finish it off?
I don't think it's a big deal.
I feel like you should get fired. I feel like you should, if you're going to be represent the team, you should have enough sense to at least stop reading it in front of other people.
Okay.
So he'd read anything?
Well, 2 against 1. Me and Bri think he shouldn't get fired.
I don't think he should be fired. I mean, if he's going to be fired, then I think, like ESPN, when they repeat the story, they should all be fired because that's all he was doing.
I feel like that's totally different. It's one thing reporting the news, another thing like reading something to people and thinking like this like makes sense.
Well, I mean, if calling Luol Deng African or whatever is offensive, what's the difference between Danny Ferry saying it and Keith Olbermann repeating the story saying Luol Deng is whatever?
Plus, he's literally from Africa, right?
I guess.
I'm almost positive.
Yeah,
Like, I never understood that. Like in the media, it's like, oh, so and so called somebody, whatever. So they're just gonna keep repeating that on loop like for 5 hours because it's so offensive. We just gotta keep telling you what he said.
Let's say that. Okay, Jay, if you were leading a conference at work and you had to introduce someone and written on the card said, now I'm going to introduce my a great kike. He's one of those goddamn Jews, and come on out there. Would you read that, or would you just like say, I'm not going to read this card?
But that's different. That it would be like me saying, Billy says that this guy is a kike.
I don't know. I feel like you have to have some filter in life. You have to have some brains to go, I'm not going to read anything.
But
put
it
in front of
wasn't
me.
even like, I don't know, saying he's African when he's African. I don't.
What were the comments?
He's got African in him.
It was kind of in a derogatory way. It was like he's too much of an African for us.
Okay, next topic.
His dick is too big for us. That's what they were saying.
Danny Ferry is like, I can't handle him.
Okay, next topic.
Okay.
Back to
Questions.
Facebook, I think.
Yeah.
Gilliam.
Jesus.
Gilliam. How am I going to know this? Gilliam.
I don't think that's that uncommon of a name.
I have lots of friends named Gilliam. Gilliam, did you see the photos leaked? What do you think about all that? Isn't Jennifer Lawrence even hotter than how she looked in her movies?
I'm not a huge...
She doesn't do it for me.
Yeah, I'm not a huge Jennifer Lawrence fan.
She looks like a bitch.
I gotta say, I did a little searching for the photos. She's the only one I found, and she looked a lot hotter than she looked in the movies.
The best thing to come out of this is that while looking for these pictures, I found out Olivia Munn's phone got hacked 2 years ago. And she's one of my all-time favorites. So
Is that the one from Attack of the Show?
Yes.
She's really hot.
Because there's another Olivia, too, right? And I can never remember which one is which.
Yeah, there's another one, Olivia Newton-John. No, I know who you're talking about.
Wild. Olivia
Wilde, yeah, who's also kind of hot. But
Yeah,
Olivia
no.
Munn's hotter.
Yeah.
Isn't one of them married to some douchebag? Well, they probably all are, but...
Olivia Munn and Aaron Rodgers?
No.
That's not what I'm thinking of, then.
No, they're not. I don't think.
I might be thinking of someone else.
Anyway,
What's your thought on the photos?
we talked about it a little bit when you went off before. I don't think. Well, Bri said it before. Like, people move on. Like, they see the pictures, and then like everything's back to normal.
Isn't it weird how every time we invent something in society, it's somehow like, let's figure out how we get porn and like naked people on there? Like, we've invented this internet. Porn. We're going to invent small phones people will carry around with themselves. And they can take pictures. Nakedness.
We have this cloud so that it can go everywhere.
I mean,
The Apple Watch. Get a vagina on your wrist.
I think the best tweet I saw about the all the pictures being leaked is I don't remember who said it, but it said whoever hacked into all those cameras or whatever is going to be the first person to ever die of too many high fives.
It's like, I think we all would agree the guy shouldn't have done that, but we're all like, wow, you shouldn't have done that. Can I see?
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah. It basically, I have to say, who do you prefer, that guy or the guys that like steal the credit cards?
Well, obviously the porn guy.
You feel like he's doing a little bit of public service.
Yeah, he made people happy, not like miserable.
Rob writes, well, since my Ozzy question went over so well and you guys mocked me for being only 21, let's do something more contemporary. Who's the top 5 rappers of all time? Mine are number 1, Eminem, 2, B Rabbit, 3, White Guy from D12, 4, Marshall Mathers, 5, Slim Shady.
Aren't at least 3 of those Eminem?
I think they all are.
I think
they're all
yeah,
they
might
all
all
are.
be.
Eminem.
Okay. That's what I thought.
Top 5
Yeah, I think that
rappers
was
of
his
all
joke.
time. Let's see.
Are we
Number
gonna put them in
one-
order, or just are we gonna put them in order, or just do top 5?
I'll do top 5. I'll just give you 5.
Okay.
Okay.
Mike D, MCA, Ad Rock.
Damn, those are my top 3.
So I'm gonna disagree with all those
Tom
choices.
Green.
Tom Green.
Yeah, you didn't know he was a rapper?
Are we gonna? Are you guys actually like rap, or you're not gonna? We're not gonna take this
No.
question
rap.
seriously.
No, I hate rap.
Jay, do you like rap?
No, but I do have a top 5.
What's your top 5?
Well, Bri already said 3 of them: Mike D, Ad
Oh,
Rock,
God.
and MCA. What? They do it better than anybody else.
Oh, okay, come on. Okay, go on.
Okay, I'm gonna tear apart your list when it's your turn.
At least, yeah. Okay.
Del the Funky Homo Sapien.
What the hell are you talking about?
You don't. Okay. Do you know?
No one knows what you're talking
Yes,
about.
they do. I guarantee
Even
this
I don't
guy
know
knows
that
what-
one.
Okay, you know the
You
Gorillas.
watch weird cartoons no one's ever heard of. You read those comics. What are you talking about?
You know the Gorillas.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
You know that rap in the middle of Clint Eastwood.
Yes.
That's Del the Funky Homo Sapien. He's been a rapper since like the 80s.
Wow. And in 30 years, he's done one thing that you can kind of go, hey, remember that video? In the middle of that video, that's him.
No, he did Mr. Bombolita, which was a very big hit in 1992.
Wow. That's huge. Okay, so my
The
list.
question was best rappers, not most popular rappers. And my number 5 is Jimmy Pop from the Bloodhound Gang.
I'm going to say that even though everyone's entitled to their own opinion, yours is wrong. I think
I
I've got
like Puff Daddy.
I would just say legitimately, I think Eminem's in the top 5. I think, yeah, I think you have to also look at like, hey, these guys, how much stuff they've actually put out,
Mm-hmm.
quantity, quality, all kinds of
I
things.
really like his high-pitched, annoying voice.
Hey, he produces lots of big hits.
I love his 0 good songs. Okay, what's the rest of your
Okay,
top 5?
Tupac.
Because he had one good song.
Got a bunch of good songs. Notorious.
I don't think he had one.
Notorious. Kanye.
Oh, I forgot Humpty J.
Okay, Humpty was my number 6
How do you not put Kanye on the list?
Easy.
because
Watch.
he's the worst.
Oh, look, I didn't put him on the list.
He's so. Are you serious?
I'm serious. He has 3 amazing albums.
Is this the biggest asshole list or best rapper
Who cares
list?
if he's an asshole?
or-
He's actually a quality rapper. He has 3 amazing albums.
I don't think I know any of his songs. I can honestly say I don't think I've ever heard any of his songs.
He has
Well,
the
you
auto.
don't listen to any rap, so
He has the auto tune rap. He has rapping while using auto tune. And he has that song where he talked over a
White person?
no, it was the who was that? Ray Charles. He talked over a Ray Charles song.
let me see what's number 5 in the list.
Wasn't that Jamie Foxx? Oh yeah, he's the gold digger, right? Is that
Yeah,
him?
yeah, that's him.
Yeah, that's Gold
Isn't
Digger,
that a
yeah.
great song?
Ain't messing with no broke niggers.
That's such a good song. He should definitely be in the top 5 list.
Let me say, is Mike D the one that writes most of the stuff for Beastie Boys?
No, I just named all 3 because they're
Yeah,
white.
you named like who does is one of the guys actually write all the stuff?
No,
They all write their own.
Yeah, it's a collaborative.
Okay.
But Jimmy Pop writes all the Bloodhound Gang songs.
It's
Yeah,
nothing-
but Jimmy
that's
Pop
nothing to brag about.
most of it's not rap to begin with,
Well,
and most of it's like what song I like by them? It's only what's the one? But they have the one about stripper crying, and it's only good when the stripper's crying or something like that.
a lap
A lap
dance.
dance is better when the girl's crying.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's great. He's got one song he does with Vanilla Ice that's really good.
Mhm.
Okay.
So I didn't know you were such a diehard Kanye fan.
We could go on to the
I'm
next
just saying
list
I'm
now,
not
right?
I'm not that big into rap, but I like rap in the.
I'm not that big into rap, but I could give you my top 50 rappers.
I guess number 5, I would take.
My favorite rapper is a Snickers bar rapper.
I'll take Dre.
Who?
Dr. Dre.
Oh,
Okay, he actually had a legitimate career.
I mean, he was pretty big in the rap world.
I could live with him.
He kind of like the Chronic was kind of a big album.
Not giving you Kanye though.
Really?
Really. How come when you go to rap shows they make you do so much stuff?
Like what?
Like you go to a rock show and they play the songs and you listen to the songs. You go to a rap show, it's like stand up, raise your hands, do this, do that. Just fucking play your song. I don't need to do aerobics and shit. I was security for the Roots, and they're like, everybody make like you're driving a car. And they're like, you too, security. And then I was just standing there like, what, you're too cool to like make like you're driving like a car?
Okay, if you're gonna
Should have just said, "Hey, I don't know how to drive, asshole."
I'll include if you can include bands, I would include the Roots. I think they're top 5, and actually 2 of my favorites, Talib Kweli and Mos Def.
You listen to way more rap than I thought you did.
I forgot all about Talib and Mos Def are amazing. I would put them actually like for my taste. I say Talib, the Roots, Mos Def, Eminem, and I guess I would take Notorious. Actually, I think Kanye. I'd put Kanye number 5.
Yeah,
All right,
he's
let's
so
go into
good.
another list.
Yeah, Kanye is so awesome.
William writes.
Well, let's talk about how Kanye walked out of his last show because 2 people would not stand up because he wanted the whole crowd to stand up.
I don't think I'm going to defend him as a human being, but
those 2 people were disabled.
did that really happen?
Yes, one had
I
a
heard about
prosthetic
that, too.
leg, and I think the other one was in a wheelchair.
That's hilarious.
And so he walked out on the concert. How big of an ego do you have to be to play in front of thousands of people and spot 2 people that aren't standing and to cancel the rest of the show?
That's like, Jay, when we saw Pantera and we thought the singer was going to point us out and have us killed.
Yeah, seriously.
Okay, you guys like metal better?
I do.
Top 5 metal bands of all time.
I'm more like hard rock. I'm not.
Okay, we did rock last time. Bri, this is your list then. Are you big into metal?
I don't know if I'm big into metal, but I mean, I'm not like.
Okay, let's move on. William writes, mention how the strap-on rumor began and favorite comedian.
Strap-on rumor?
Yes. So
That's from our Nick show.
Oh.
Bri likes strap-ons. Anyhow, favorite comedian.
Let's do top 5 favorite comedians.
Living, dead? What are any parameters here?
No parameters. Top 5 stand-ups of all time.
Okay. Who wants to go first?
Why don't we just let's make let's collaboratively make a top 5 list.
I'm gonna go with Brian Regan.
I'm gonna say no.
Do you guys even know who he is?
Let's go around. We just throw.
All
one
right.
out
Oh, yeah.
there.
We'll name a name and then we'll vote. There you go.
Okay.
Do you guys even know who that is?
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, I know. He does jokes and spelling bees. It's hilarious. George Carlin.
I guess.
Okay, I got one.
I think he's overrated, but I mean, everybody's
Yeah.
going to say it's up there.
I know. Let's leave that on the maybe list. He's very hit or miss.
He's got a lot. I mean, he has so much work also.
He does, but a lot of it's shit.
A lot of it's great.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you're going to put that much stuff up there. More prolific than any other comedian out there. Okay. Bri, your turn.
Louis C.K.
I put him in there.
I'll give you that one.
Yeah. Okay, so we got 2. Jay?
Greg Giraldo.
I love Greg Giraldo.
Very underrated.
Very underrated. I don't know if he's top 5.
I don't know if he's top 5, yeah, but he's definitely underrated.
Every time I've seen him, he did a completely different set, which I think is very impressive. Because I've seen other guys like Greg Rogel, who has an amazing set, but then he did it for like 15 straight years.
Yeah, I think he's great, but I don't know if
Top
Yeah, I don't
5.
think top
He's
5,
going to be
but
hard
he's-
to crack top 5.
okay, we'll put him in the very maybe folder.
Yeah.
Okay, Chris Rock.
I don't think he's got enough stuff.
Wait, Giraldo has enough stuff, but Chris Rock doesn't.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, what does Chris Rock have? Like 2 specials?
3. Bri?
Bill Hicks.
No, I meant what your Chris Rock.
Oh, I go for Chris Rock, yeah.
Okay, so he's him and Carlin are like very much almost in. You have to knock them out.
Okay.
Bill Hicks, I say, was overrated, underrated. He's one of those guys everyone said he's underrated. I don't think he was that funny.
I don't know enough Bill Hicks to comment on that.
Like, he's kind of funny. I don't think he's like bad, but I don't think he was all that amazing. I always heard like how he was like this comedian's comedian. Everyone loved him, and everyone was underappreciated. And you start hearing him, you're like, oh, eh.
Yeah, I saw 2 5-minute clips that were just okay, but obviously that's not enough to.
Is this me or Jay? Oh, this me or Jay?
I think it's me. Mitch Hedberg.
Oh, I was just gonna say him. Definitely.
I'm the only one I know who just he doesn't do it for me at all.
Oh, I fucking love Mitch Hedberg.
I'll give him to you, but I don't like him.
I think he's Stephen Wright done better.
Yeah.
You know who's actually pretty good? I'm not top 5, but you ever listen to Dimitri Martin?
Yeah, he's very good.
He's really good. It's also the same basic like stand-up stuff, but
Zach Galifianakis was very good when he was doing stand-up too.
Mm.
It was
not
very
top 5.
It was very Dimitri Martin-esque.
Okay, so far we have Bride. You veto him or you let him in?
Whatever. I don't care. I mean, he's not. I don't really like him, but if you guys want to have him, you can have him.
Okay, you can knock people out. So right now we have the top 5. We have Louis C.K., Mitch Hedberg, Chris Rock, and
Carlin.
And Greg
Carlin.
And Greg Giraldo.
No, we both vetoed. Brian and I both vetoed him. Okay. Number 5. Well, this is one I love. You guys aren't gonna. I bet you guys aren't fans, but Eddie Izzard.
No.
You guys ever listen to him?
Yeah.
I love him. I think he's one of the most brilliant ones out there. His HBO special is amazing. Have you listened to his HBO special?
The one where he's in the blue dress?
Maybe.
Yeah.
I forget what he's wearing. He's weird, obviously.
Yeah.
Right?
No.
No, I mean, next meeting. I'll give him to you guys. You guys veto him.
Last time I gave a guy before voting. This time I'm voting before giving a guy. I got a tough choice here. You guys are both going to say no. I already know it, but I'm going to go with Doug Stanhope.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's funny, but I don't think he's anywhere close to the top 5.
He's Greg Giraldo for me. Same thing. Like, he's very funny at times, but like, I don't know if he's really top 5. And Doug Stanhope gets a little old at times. But he's really funny. Jay?
Bill Burr.
No.
No.
All right, fuck you guys.
He's funny, but again, I wouldn't give it to you. Who's the white pale dude? Jim Gaffigan.
Oh. No.
Yeah, I'll give you Jim Gaffigan.
God.
Right, you don't like him?
Hate him.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, well, he's in the top. You both beat him, so he's top 5 right now until we knock him out. Bri.
Sam Kinison.
No. No.
He had some funny stuff, but he wasn't like. I don't think he was. I don't think he was amazing. Jay.
Yeah, I think it was a lot of yelling.
He had this one bit about it was about like when they show those commercials in Africa about the kids like not having any food, and he's like, why don't you tell them to fucking move? There's just sand on here. You can't grow things. Get the hell out. Mm-hmm. It was funny when he did it. Jay?
I would say sorry. Why am I drawing a blank on his name? Lewis Black.
I don't think he's that. I love Lewis Black.
Lewis Black is exhausting. I like him, but he's exhausting.
I feel like sometimes he's really funny but it gets repetitive also.
Mm-hmm.
It's the same like, oh, here's what's happening. I'm outraged. Oh, blah, 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 blah. It's always like he presents something that's like kind of funny, but doesn't like really add enough to it.
Mm-hmm.
He's funny. He's obviously a very funny comedian. Here's 2. I'm just gonna throw out 2 right here. I feel like you guys are gonna say no to both of them, but I feel like they're on the list of like great all-time greats. Seinfeld and Richard Pryor.
I'd lean more toward Richard Pryor. I feel like Seinfeld, it was funny, but it's like dated. Like if you go back and listen now, it's like eh.
I won't argue either of them. I mean,
I haven't heard enough Richard Pryor really. I like Seinfeld. I think is pretty funny, but I could see like you're not like it, again. His act kind of wears a little bit.
Right.
Anyone
Okay, so
else?
we have different tastes in stand-up. We should
Yeah,
have
I
done our own
think
top fives.
I'm gonna go old school on mine, and you guys are both gonna say no, but I don't care. Fuck it. Don Rickles.
Oh, I like Don Rickles.
I haven't heard much Don Rickles.
Don Rickles is so fucking funny.
He was
I don't
the
think-
original celebrity roasts.
Yeah.
Him and Bob Hope were like. That was when you actually honored somebody who deserved it instead of picking people who are easy to make fun of.
Yeah.
I saw him live once. He was.
I saw him like 3 times. It was pretty much the same act at this point, but it's just so funny.
Yeah.
Okay, here are the top 10 comedians of all time based on the standupcomedyclinic.com. Number 1, George Carlin. 2, Bill Cosby. 3, Richard Pryor. 4, Lenny Bruce. Bob Hope. Jerry Seinfeld. Paula Poundstone. Bill Hicks. Steve Martin, and Eddie Murphy. Eddie Murphy's the one we forgot. What do you think about Eddie Murphy?
I don't know enough of his stand-up, really.
Yeah, I feel like he was the same thing as Chris Rock. Like he did a couple and then did movies.
Yeah. He had two amazing albums, but that was it.
Right.
Along the same line, Dave Chappelle. Dave Chappelle has one amazing stand-up special.
Mm-hmm.
But after that, his stand-up not quite as good.
Right. Okay.
What's the last one? What's the funniest woman of all time?
There aren't any.
Funniest woman stand-up.
Yeah.
Roseanne, maybe?
Yeah, it could be.
It's
Yeah.
nobody who's out there now. They're all terrible. Don't give me Sarah Silverman. She's not funny.
She's like, okay.
Like her stuff is like, like her punchlines are funny, but it takes her so long to get to the punchline.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'd like to hear more of is the one that just died. What's her name?
Joan Rivers?
Yeah, I saw a clip of her stand-up. It was actually pretty funny.
The one from the 60s?
Yeah. Dennis Miller?
No, he's not a girl.
No, I'm just looking at another list.
Oh, my next thing was going to be Rodney Dangerfield. I love Rodney Dangerfield.
Yeah, I think he's overrated.
Robin Williams?
No.
No. Steve Martin, I saw a little bit. He was really funny, but
Let's do. How about we do bottom 5?
Oh, this is go for it.
Robin Williams.
Oh, I got one for us that I bet we all agree is good, but maybe I'm wrong.
Bottom 5 or top 5?
Top 5, or at least you guys will at least love. If you don't put him in there, David Cross.
Yes. He's not top 5, but I like David Cross.
Yeah, I like his stand-up, yeah.
Yeah, I was sure it was gonna be top 5, but I would be shocked if you guys didn't like him.
He doesn't have enough to be top 5.
Yeah, no, his stuff is good, but I feel like it's also going to be dated. It's a lot of just like making fun of Bush.
Do you ever listen to Mike Birbiglia?
Love Mike Birbiglia.
He's pretty funny.
Okay, let's move on.
That is. I don't know who half these new comics are.
Okay, I tend to post asking for bring questions everywhere all over Facebook to get more questions. So we have some more to go. Is there a band anywhere in the entire world that is worse than JD and the Straight Shot?
Who?
That is the band of the Knicks owner. And no, there's not a worse one.
Any band that sells themselves as emo is probably worse than JD and the Straight Shot.
Who is that comedian that always talked like his mom? She's like, you talk like a crazy person. I'm going to find his name.
Probably somebody I wouldn't think is funny.
It was like 15 years ago. He was the worst comedian.
Patton Oswalt, top 5 worst comedians out there.
See, I like him. I know Jay hates him.
Yeah.
I feel like he has amazing deliveries, and I've never seen him like hit like he just never hits the actual joke punchline. The punchlines are always terrible.
Yeah, he has good. He's the opposite. If you could like morph him and Sarah Silverman, you'd have like the best comedy set.
Or him and like Colin Quinn.
Yeah. Margaret Cho is my bottom 5.
Oh,
Margaret Cho,
I agree with that.
Asian comedian who all she does is talk like her mom.
Yeah, she's really terrible.
I get it. Your mom's Asian, has an Asian accent. Hilarious. Do that for 25 years.
You know who was really funny as far as female comedians? Ellen DeGeneres.
Mm-hmm.
She was actually pretty funny as a comedian.
Yeah.
she's all right.
Anthony writes, "Please get all the Woodson out of your system so I don't have to hear it on the Nick show."
Blasphemy.
Someone didn't like our Woodson. I'm a Dog writes, "Your choice. Would you rather have ugly intelligent or a beauty dumb wife?" So, yeah, stupid blonde or smart ugly girl.
Smart redhead.
Yeah, I would say smart, ugly girl.
Yeah. I could always have an affair with the blonde.
Or other way around, the other one's too stupid to realize you're nailing the smart one.
Yeah.
Grant responded, "I hate to tell you, but I think the answer is obvious if you've experienced marriage. If you've experienced marriage." The smart one?
Wait, why are people answering their own questions?
Someone else responded. That was
oh.
question, and Grant responded.
Oh, I see.
Bri, what do you think? The smart one?
Sure, yeah.
William writes, "Yesterday I was on the subway 7 train coming back from work, and I noticed a pretty blonde with a skirt sitting across from me. I noticed the dude next to me was moving his arms towards the subway floor, and when I glanced to him, I noticed that he had his phone camera video on, trying to record under the pretty blonde skirt across from me. I felt awkward and did not know what to do, if I should have just ignore it or ask him, "Perv, the fuck you doing?" He was clearly a peeping Tom and was trying to get good position to record the blonde's upskirt panties. What would you have done? I got off the subway and took the next train."
I would have asked him to text it to me.
So, William, you were actually sitting next to Bri.
I mean, I wouldn't have got off the train.
That is a little weird. I don't understand like the sell of that video you get. Is it gonna be that good of a video? You're gonna go home and like.
No, it's gonna be a terrible, terrible, grainy. It's like the people who record like concerts they're at. The sound is all blasted out. And you got a grainy video, and then you miss the show while you're actually there too. Good job.
This isn't the metallic costume. Oh, you're right. It's an skirt shot. I'd never tell which video is which. It's so grainy.
People are weird.
Yeah, would you call the guy out?
Yeah, I think I would.
So you'd say, "Hey, what the hell are you doing?"
Yeah.
Wait, I guess, would you confront someone on the train, or would you just be like, "Okay, not my business"?
It depends what kind of mood I was in.
What if the
Depends
guy,
how hot the chick was. If the chick was real hot, I would say something, because then she would think I'm a good guy.
what if he was bigger than you?
Then probably not.
Is he white or is he black? Because this makes a difference too.
Whichever you're more scared of.
I'm not going to answer that question. What do you think I work for the Atlanta Hawks?
I'm a Dog writes, "Imagine a world where alcohol is illegal and weed is allowed." Sounds like a nicer world to me.
Mm.
Except I get anxiety attacks now on weed, so.
I mean, the same thing would just be moving to get the alcohol legal. I don't see why either one of them would be illegal.
I mean, alcohol is addicting, and weed is not. So I could see it makes no sense to have weed illegal and alcohol not.
Right? Yeah. They're both. It just seems like they're both around the same level. Why? It's just like, ooh, we have to live in a society where we're giant hypocrites all the time about everything we do.
Right.
There'd be so much more money available for like real important things if they just like legalize so much shit that's illegal right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would agree with that. And maybe if they also didn't spend all their money bombing other countries, we'd have a lot of money available.
Well, that too, yeah.
Well, I mean, there are a lot of poor people here, but poor people, we can't drop the poor people in other countries, so make a bomb.
It'd just be easier if they just bomb the poor people. I mean, that's what they want to do anyway.
This just
Say it was ISIS. That's all. Say there was a Just do what they do when we fire a drone at somebody. Be like, oh, there was somebody in the tribe there that we wanted to kill. Sorry, we killed the rest of you.
Brian, have you been commenting on Infowars?
No. No, I read Dirty Wars. Did you read that yet, Jay?
No, I just read Way of the Knife.
How was Dirty Wars? I heard that was really good.
Very good.
Way of the
If you
Knife
don't want to
is-
read the book, you could just watch the movie. The movie's kind of like a Cliff Notes version of the book.
I was planning on watching the movie.
Yeah.
What's it about?
The drone program?
That's what Way of the Knife is about too.
Oh, okay. So
who
basically,
who wrote the Way of the Knife?
Some guy who was like a
I've heard of it.
reporter for. I'll pull it up.
So it's all about how the drones bring candy and goodness to everyone.
Something like that, yeah.
An unmanned flying object that shoots missiles can be bad. I don't understand how it could be bad. John writes, 13 years ago, since September 11th attacks, what was your experiences at the time? I understand if you'd rather not talk about it, but even as a Brit, I still won't forget it.
He was a New York Times correspondent, by the way.
Oh, okay.
13 years. What was your experiences at the time?
Yeah.
I was moving to Boston on the 12th. And so on the 11th, I hung out with my dad and we did a massive amount of shots. And I was extremely hungover. And my dad said, you need to turn on the TV. And I said, no, I'm hungover. And then he said, no, really, turn on the TV. And then I turned it on. And I was like, holy shit. And then I watched as the building that didn't get hit with the planes fell down for no reason.
Jay has to always throw in his crazy conspiracy.
It's so crazy that a building that didn't get hit by a plane fell and turned to dust. That is insane. What a wacky thing to notice.
You know, there really aren't even airplanes. They invented the airplane just for that conspiracy.
How is that
have you,
so-
have you ever even been on an airplane? They're not real.
How is that so crazy? Why? Okay.
Brian, can I wait before we go on with this? Brian, are you in the? Do you believe? Are you a wacko like Jay?
Yes.
Oh God.
Why did the building fall down if it didn't get hit with a plane?
I don't know because I had to get to the other side.
See, you have no answer. This is why it happens. Everyone calls me crazy.
Well,
and I
the
say how to
irony
fall,
of
and
this
they have
whole
no
topic
answer.
is that on 9/11, my cousin had just started a job working at that building.
Oh yeah.
And,
How is this irony?
well, because my cousin worked in that building that fell down. But she wasn't there that day. So I guess it worked out.
I work in that building now.
Isn't that more of like a coincidence or like here's something that's interesting?
Yeah, it's not like ironic.
Well, we were talking about it. That's why it's ironic.
Oh, okay.
Do you want to look up what the word ironic means?
She's
And then get
also
back to us?
my cousin was also Muslim and went to work that day with like 4 big backpacks that were ticking. So
True story.
that be more ironic, or
My cousin was flying a plane towards that building.
So you have no idea how that building fell.
Do we have to look this up? Oh my God.
You can't look it up because there's no.
There
legitimate
was no
reason.
plane. And the Pentagon, it didn't get hit by an airplane. The Pentagon doesn't exist. Have you ever been to Washington, D.C.?
See?
Doesn't exist.
This is what happens. People just make jokes because there's no real answer.
Oh, because
yeah, because it's really easy to fly a plane 5 feet from the ground into a building.
It's 700 miles an hour.
Yeah,
Right, couldn't have happened. Impossible. You're right.
And not
no
scrape,
way.
and not
and
scrape the
not one
grass.
camera around the building got recorded it,
Yeah.
Right.
and they
Okay.
found no pieces of the plane.
Right, except for all the news reports where they found pieces of the plane.
But they didn't.
Not at the Pentagon, they didn't.
They didn't. They found zero
Are you
pieces. of-
sure that one of the planes didn't hit JFK?
See, you just make jokes because you have absolutely no real answer to any of these things.
It's like arguing with someone that believes in the Bible. You can't really argue with the person. You're throwing out things. I'm like, what? You believe this on faith? I can't argue with this. Like, oh, I have a bunch of conspiracy websites that agree with me.
Except that when you're saying a physical thing hits something else, there's actual evidence. It's not like a metaphysical argument.
There was when I was in Cincinnati this weekend.
Oh, all right, so you don't.
Hang on,
find
hang on. So when I was
No.
Just, you'll jump in a second. When I was in Cincinnati this past weekend, we were sitting around this square. They had like a little beer fest thing going, and some guy came around passing around those like the Bible verses, and he's like tries to give it to me. I'm like, no thanks. And he's like, and he starts talking to me. I'm like, okay, why don't you tell me how your story? How did you come to this? And he's like, well, I was 35. I was a sinner, and I decided to make my life better. I was like, well, what did you actually do? What's your sin? Like, what were you doing? And he's like, well, you tell me about your sins first. I'm like, I'm not coming around handing around Bible verses to people. Why don't you tell me about your sin? I was hoping to hear about his story about, it's always a story about how, like, either he's recalling fondly his days of actually having fun, or he's like, or it's something where he basically has lost his, like he's an alcoholic or a drug addict. It's never like, hey, I had a nice family, everything was going fine in my life, then I turned myself over to Jesus. But he just started quoting Bible quote after Bible quote after
What's this
Bible
have to do with
quote.
9/11?
Yeah, well,
Yeah, it
why
will.
would you want this?
It'll get
I'm
back.
not even listening, but this has nothing to do with 9/11.
Basically, I wanted to discuss this with him, or like argue with him, or joke with him, and he just got into the Bible verses. You can't argue with him because he was just so like, and this is a gift from Jesus, and this is a gift, and you're like, fine, man, just stop quoting Bible verses to me. I just
This
don't
is
care, man.
completely irrelevant to Bry's
It's
point.
not irrelevant because you guys just quote conspiracy stuff, and you're like, oh, there was new.
The Bible is fake. 9/11 is really happened.
Yeah, so you're making a completely illogical argument right now.
I'm making that if you guys are so into the conspiracy, there's no really arguing with you about
Mark,
it.
you don't find it strange that three
I
buildings.
find it strange that you guys are obsessed with this.
You don't find it strange that 3 buildings completely imploded. Not one of them toppled over in the slightest.
And one of them didn't
What?
get hit by anything.
What's the story behind this? What was the plan?
It was a controlled demolition to justify
Wait.
going to war.
So they were like, hey, we need to go to war. Let's destroy some buildings and kill some people here.
You ever hear of the Gulf of Tonkin? That was a ship that, our ship that we struck down in order to justify going to war. And it's been admitted by the government that they actually did that.
I don't think 9/11 was by our government to go to war. For what? To like be in Afghanistan for the rest of our lives?
Halliburton?
We've
Cash
accomplished.
rules everything around me.
Yeah, cream.
I don't get how you don't think it's fishy at all that a building that didn't get touched by anything imploded straight down and turned to dust.
Or even the 2 buildings that got hit imploded straight down. They didn't topple over in the slightest.
It's not like a game of Jenga.
Buildings don't fall straight down at free fall speed. It just doesn't happen.
You've taken a lot of them down.
I've watched
All I know
controlled
is that there were lots of scientists or whatever that did debunk this stuff, and I'm going to go with them. You're the same people who don't believe in global.
Oh, so the science for 9/11 is okay, but the science for climate change, they're kooks. See, you can't have science in one way and then not have science in the other.
Right, I believe in global warming. What are you talking about?
I don't know.
I thought we all had a consensus that we thought the people that don't believe in the global warming were crazy.
They don't believe in science, but they believe in science for 9/11.
But Mark doesn't believe in 9/11.
I believe 9/11 happened.
But
I just
you're
don't believe
Jewish. Come on,
your version of it.
You know the Jewish
The
mafia
Jews were told. The
thing
Jews
up?
were all told not to show up that day. I know. I heard that.
That's true.
I'm going to go with that. 9/11 happened.
But we're not saying it didn't happen.
I'm pretty sure it happened.
I'm almost positive.
Okay, you're
considering
right.
I'm
You're
working
right.
to
The
brag
mole
about it.
people, they planted bombs there because they wanted to kill the mole people in Afghanistan.
No, you're right. 3 buildings fell straight down at free fall speed because that's a normal thing that happens.
You're right. My version of the actual events is crazy. You're right.
You remember when that?
Can you show me one site, one website that's not like complete lunatic fringe that actually has this?
Yeah, I've sent you multiple links, and you
From Infowars.
No, I've sent you actual links, and you say, "Oh, I didn't even look at it."
Oh, I can't because I'm in the middle of work. I'm like, ooh, let me engage in this like far-fetched tale.
See, that's the thing. You just make jokes and then
I'm just
everything
telling
they
you, I
send
don't believe in Hansel and Gretel either.
Yeah, but that's a story that didn't happen.
I know.
You're very frustrating to argue with because you don't make any points of your own.
I made a point. It happened. I said the buildings were hit by planes. The buildings, the heat melted the metal, and the planes went down. The other buildings caught fire, and the heat melted the iron also, and the planes collapsed upon themselves. I do believe that's possible.
It's a steel building, and steel burns at 2,700 degrees, and fire burns at 700.
Right. Okay.
Maybe there was
You're
seven fires.
you're right. It was Halliburton planned the whole thing.
It was a special fire that burned triple the heatness just on that one specific day.
I
It
think
was
it's
sunny that day.
I
Yeah.
have read the explanations for this. I don't know. I'm not obsessed with this one. I kind of really think this actually just happened. I think this would be too much. I couldn't imagine we actually would like. I feel like if it was a planned, because I think it would have gone a lot worse.
Why, you think the government would have screwed it up?
Yeah, you would have known about it. All this stuff just seems to come out, except for this one. The Gulf of Tonkin thing actually came out.
Yeah, like 50 years later, when they officially debriefed it.
Okay, well, why don't we make a 50-year bet? If I win, you never have to talk to me about 9/11. If you win, I'll give you $10.
Believe me, if I win, you're never going to hear the end about it.
If you win, I will accept every crazy conspiracy you tell me as the gospel.
All right, let's move on. We're not getting anywhere here.
Does anyone in this audience actually believe? And I guess the audience is. Does anyone actually believe in this 9/11 crap? Please send us your comments about that. John writes, with the recent Adrian Pearson child abuse case, Mark, what is your stance on spanking? As a child, I was spanked by my parents and definitely knew between right and wrong. My wife does not advocate spanking and prefers the naughty step, go to your room, and yellow card, red card system for our children. But I find it doesn't seem to work. I definitely think they need a good smack, but law has really changed over the years, and I feel parents are worried they will get prosecuted. How do you discipline your little one?
It's a long question.
They turned their disciplining into a soccer match with yellow cards.
Yeah.
It does sound like that. I mean, basically, we try to use
So if you
time.
get a handball, you get sent to your room.
Well, it's a very similar system to like going to timeout or something like that.
Yeah.
And they're very ineffective. I mean, there's a certain extent, like my son doesn't like going to timeout, but then like when I go to timeout, he like tries to leave timeout, and like.
Then you time out them, or.
I mean, at the end of the day, your kid at 3 or 4 or 5 years old doesn't know any better, and even though they drive you insane, you really shouldn't lose your temper enough to actually hit them. And I feel like you're. I mean, what values are we instilling in them that like if you're bigger and stronger, you can beat someone to get them to listen to you.
Right. I was never hit, and I was a pretty good kid.
It just seems to me using like that extreme. Like I know spanking is a pretty common thing from the history. Like people have used that for many, many, many years. I can't see myself ever like as angry as I get with my son at times. I can't see myself ever being like spanking him. I
don't understand how spanking is like even a big deal. Like to me, like it seems like that would just be like the easiest thing to do instead of like whipping them with a stick or something. Just
I feel like it's like the easiest thing to do as opposed to like actually trying to raise your kid. Ooh, instead of trying to figure out why he did that and trying to correct his behavior, I'm just going to hit him.
I think Bride's talking about instead of like using weapons and shit, like
switches. Oh, you could abuse your kid or you could spank. Like you can't rationalize with like a 6-year-old because they don't speak the same language. So it's like, oh, why did you do that? I don't know, because I'm a fucking kid. It's like, why did my dog shit on the floor? Because he's a fucking dog.
Right. So what you're saying, they should be hitting them or not be hitting them?
No, they shouldn't be hitting them, but I don't think spanking is like if spanking is bad, then I don't know.
Like,
but it's correcting their behavior through controlled violence. Like you're hurting
it's not
them.
Violent.
You're hitting them. You don't gently tap them. You hit them hard enough that they feel pain, and so they don't do that anymore because they feel pain.
No, I think you could just like lightly smack so that they know like.
I'm not talking like a bare ass with a piece of bambu.
Well, I think if you don't hit them hard, then the spanking's kind of pointless.
Because they understand.
But it even if you don't hit them hard, it still becomes embarrassing.
Yeah, I think they know.
You pull their pants out in like the public square.
I don't go out in public.
Well, I'm saying it's probably when you do it at home, like the spanking. You don't do it like
still
out.
Embarrassing. Like if you're not an only child, if you have another sibling, it's gonna be embarrassing because your brother's gonna be like, haha, you got spanked.
But the same thing, haha, you got time out. They know that's like a negative thing.
Well, no,
you got a yellow card.
Oh no, you had to sit in a corner for 3 minutes.
Does your quasi girlfriend? Did you spank her? Or does she spank you?
No, neither.
Oh, that would have been awesome. I just think either way, you're gonna. I don't know. I just can't see myself wanting to like as much as you like get angry at your kid. And so how do I discipline? Timeout is very ineffective. But I do that, and I'll take away toys for like 24 hours.
Can you like put them in timeout? Put like a grocery bag over their head, not a plastic bag, like a paper bag, so they can't see. Is that bad or?
I usually sit here with him. He's 3 years old. I sit there with him in timeout and count to 30, and that's it.
Not timeout then. I mean, that's
It is timeout.
bonding time.
Yeah, well, I mean, like he knows that he's done something bad, and that he doesn't.
Hey, I want to hang out with Dad, so I'm gonna piss on the floor.
I mean, that's one way he could go with it. I think you're right in the sense of like they're so young, they don't know what they're doing, and so to like, I don't know, to correct their behavior through like hurting them seems like. I don't know, but then again, like you shouldn't like threaten your kid, and all the time I'm like, if you don't do that, we're not going to the party today, or you're not going to school today, or whatever. I threaten them with all the time because it's like you lose your mind when they drive you crazy. But so I'm in favor of making random threats against them, but not actually spanking them.
All right.
I don't know. It's disciplining them is hard. I don't know. It's really
Yeah, because at some point, like if they keep not listening, like what do you do?
Yeah.
I just think it's like I would say spanking is taking the easy way out as a parent.
Mm-hmm.
John writes, after seeing Giancarlo Stanton get hit in the face, is it time for hitters to have a grill on the helmet?
Should just not have baseball.
Bri answers,
Jay's not a big
if the
baseball.
baseballs will reduce, if hitting people with the baseball will reduce population, then I like it.
No, because I want the Mets to trade for that guy, so I want to see him come back and.
A lot of guys have the guard on the face thing.
As
You
a
know, like
pitcher?
what comes out on the cheek.
Yeah.
I think everyone should have that at least.
Pitchers?
No, hitters. We're talking about the hitters. But the pitchers also. I mean, the pitchers get like they can get hit by a line drive. It's pretty dangerous.
That shows how much I know baseball. I thought he was talking about a pitcher.
No, a batter got hit right in the face last week.
Yeah.
He's one of the best players in baseball, also, and he got like just nailed. But a guy is throwing basically a 95-mile-per-hour baseball hits you in the head. You may not live.
They should make the baseball out of marshmallows.
That would be the funnest way to solve that.
Instead of a bunt, you just eat it.
You're supposed to throw it at first, not eat it. I got hungry.
Game's 3.5 hours and nothing happens. I get hungry.
Would you watch baseball if for an entire game they replaced the baseball with a Nerf ball?
No, I probably still wouldn't watch.
Wouldn't it be kind of funny with a Nerf ball? At least for like one
It would
game.
be funny for like an inning or two.
The ball like wouldn't travel anywhere. Everyone would have trouble throwing it because it's a Nerf ball.
Yeah, I think it would be hilarious for like an inning.
Or a giant beach ball.
I'd rather get spanked than watch that.
I don't get the whole spanking thing.
So Jay, would you spank me?
I don't know.
I didn't
Would
mean
you-
sexually, Jay. I meant as like pretending I'm a child.
That's just weird.
Like punishment, I'd rather be spanked than have to watch that game.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know what we're talking about.
I don't either.
Would you spank the perpetrators of 9/11?
Sure.
Who, the government? Yeah, hell yeah, I would.
Okay, perfect. So what did we learn today? I think our show's over.
Yeah, this show's definitely over.
Yeah, I gotta pee.
Do you think I should? My kid's in preschool, and they have there's a PA, a parent association, and they want $100 per family for the PA dues. Should I give them?
What do you get with that?
I don't freaking know.
That's what you should say.
They have a they also sent a save the date. There's a champagne and sushi social for the parents, which sounds like
Nothing
weird
goes
also.
with champagne like sushi.
I don't know. Like I don't know what's that have to do with my kid being in preschool, but they're just having a social for the parents.
So they collect your money and then spend it all on champagne and sushi.
Yeah, I guess so. It does seem like that.
It's like, you know what? How about I keep the 100 and I take my wife out to champagne
Yeah.
and sushi?
Yeah. How about I spend it not with you people?
Then I don't have to have like warm sushi that's been sitting out for 2 hours.
Yeah, yeah. You know what I want to do my $100 is spend time with other parents for my kids' class.
We learned that we agree on absolutely nothing this whole episode. We learned that Mark is a closet rap fan.
We learned that Jay is not a closet conspiracy nut.
We learned that Mark is terrible at arguing.
We learned that Bri hates our Ray Rice bits.
We learned that I also hate our Ray Rice bits.
We learned more about Bri's life, and we're intrigued.
Keep coming back for more.
We learned how awful it is to be someone that hooks up with Bri.
Well, that's true.
Okay, the concert's over. Can I get back in the car, please? Did you sit? Hang on. When you got the free ticket and you went into the show, did you sit next to her, or did you?
No, she actually.
Oh my god.
No, well, I couldn't actually because her ticket was better than where I was.
Did you tell her you got in?
Yeah, I told her I got in, and
Okay.
I asked her if she wanted to switch her ticket with the guy who gave me his ticket, but she was like in the pit or something, so she had to get a wristband, so she couldn't do that because you can't get another wristband or something. So,
What future plans do you guys have together? Is there a next scheduled public event for you guys?
we're doing an Alzheimer's walk on Sunday. Hopefully, if I walk far enough, I'll get Alzheimer's.
Are you gonna walk with her, or are you gonna be like, "Oh, I'm gonna jog today, so I can leave you behind"?
Oh yeah, like I'm gonna jog. I don't think so. We're gonna walk.
Okay. She's a lucky girl.
She sure is.
If she came to you and was like, "I met someone else," would your response be, "No, be with me," or
Bye.
"Shucks"?
Shucks. Oh shucks.
Have you met have you hung out at all with her friends?
A couple of them.
Do they look at you with scorn throughout the entire evening?
Well, everybody looks at me. With I don't think.
I lived with Bri for 4 years. I could attest to this.
Have you ever met any of her family members?
Yes.
Oh God.
Yeah, I met her mom. Her mom lives in Vegas.
And she's a stripper.
No, she's not.
I like how you laughed.
Brian's like, that beast would never be a stripper. Ah ha ha.
Oh my god. Okay, we have to end the show.
Okay.
This has been a very long episode.
Join us next week, or join us in 2 weeks for another Brink episode in which we learn more and more about Bri making some girl feel terrible about herself.
If we do a skit, we promise to actually rehearse it before the episode starts.
The
And I
next
will talk
next show will be our skit of the government prior to 9/11 planning it.
And then Marco, yeah, sure. We'll just blow up the buildings. That's how I argue.
We want to go to war, and the people just let us go to war whenever we want. What if we blow up some towers ahead of time just for shits and giggles? Sounds like a plan, guys.
When I want to argue, I just talk like this. Don't have to have substance when you just repeat what the other guy says like this.
I mean, I don't understand
doing
it.
it right
A plane hitting a building doesn't equal toppling over. When I play Jenga, it works differently.
Okay.
Okay.
Goodbye,
bye.
song. Thanks for joining us, everybody. And yeah, we'll be back in 2 weeks. If
All
anybody's
right.
still here to actually listen to this.
At some point, we're doing Knicks more often, and yeah.
Goodbye.
Goodbye, everybody. It's all over. Goodbye. It's time to go.
This is the end.
Say goodbye.